The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
We on again. Hey,
be more positive, vibrant. 2022.
Be more positive, vibrant. Make up your mind. Which one?
Both. There you go with the correction. You can be both. We can be dual this year.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever.
All the above.
17 people listening.
It's more than that.
I'm Louis Dix.
I'm Jeff Arnold.
What's the name of the show?
It's In a Man's World.
I talked to Dannon this week, and he said he couldn't make it. He said he could, then he said he couldn't, then he said he could, then he sent me some long text saying that he's not. He loves the show, he loves doing it, appreciate it. It's just that I guess some Fridays he has some stuff going on. So I thought it was,
Well, he was only here on a 10-day contract anyway.
You always putting things in sports. I told the football coach from the school to listen, and he said, "Oh yeah, Bud." He calls me Bud. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan, Aaron. So, and we had a bet, and of course the Cowboys beat the Eagles, and
so
the bet was a beer, 6-pack of beer, but I bought him the wrong beer. He's a real guy. He's a man's man.
And what makes him that?
Because I like him. He's
because you like him.
No, he's old school. He's
Okay.
If he likes you, he likes you. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's a good football coach too.
As
First year they were undefeated.
As TDP would say, you want to date him?
No. He's married with a beautiful little baby boy. Look, I said that like as if he wasn't. I would. Okay.
Clarification.
But I know he's not listening anyway.
Is he the varsity?
He's the head of the program. That's how we do things.
He's the athletic director.
No, he's the head of the football program.
Okay, all right.
So we have coaches, and we have coaches that are head of their program.
Okay.
So he runs the middle school football, the varsity JV. It's his program.
Okay, cool.
So all right. You should know that being a sports guy.
Well, they refer to as general managers.
All right, let's get with this now. First of all, I was driving down, if you're not in Los Angeles, Crenshaw, in crazy line at Kaiser for COVID testing.
Yes, it's all over.
I mean, it's COVID, and more COVID.
It's everywhere. Testing is practically now on every corner.
You think they're going to shut us down?
No. Gavin Newsom, he's not going to do that. Even though Maryland is a blue state, Governor Hogan, he shut it. He called a state of emergency for 30 days because hospitalization went up 500%.
Oh.
So they basically back on punishment. They back on lockdown.
A lot of people I know said they tested positive. A lot of the kids and their mom, and I don't know. A lot of
Have you
people.
tested?
Yeah, we get tested all the time.
Have you tested positive?
I was going to be like Kyrie Irving and say it's my personal thing, but yeah, I did, and I isolated. Isolating is interesting. When you isolate for 10 days by yourself, Code 3 was just slipping me food under the thing.
Where'd you sleep at?
In the room.
Oh, okay.
In the room. We just put a big shield up to the bed.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
This is my half.
No.
Like this, his nose took up on her side, so yeah.
No, but she took care of me. Now they're saying it's 5 days.
Yeah.
And interesting because at the school I noticed.
But you know why they said it's 5 days now? They cut it from 10 to 5.
Why?
Because they had the CEOs of the airlines. And
yeah, I saw that. They wrote a letter.
Yeah. Well, they testified before the Senate, Congress, and they were saying that the isolation period, 10 days, it's hurting the industry because pilots and flight attendants are calling off, and that's too long and they gotta like cancel flights. So
That's
there's
right.
like,
Your wife is in that industry.
yeah, it's like, can you cut it in half to 5? And then right after that, like 2 days after that, the CDC came out and said, we changed the guidelines.
Well, money talks. Money talks.
But it's constantly rotating, it's constantly changing.
I feel sorry for the young kids because I noticed something on being on campus. These kids really missed each other. Monday when they came back from that, because we were shut down, they were going we told them not to jump on each other and hug,
And they still did it.
But you could see that they need, when we were growing up, I really don't remember being that dependent on my school friends. Did you have any? We had school friends, you had neighborhood friends, and you had family.
Okay, did you go?
So everybody served a purpose.
Did you go to school in your neighborhood? Or did you go outside your neighborhood? You got bused?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it still ended up being a black school.
Yeah, but it wasn't in your neighborhood, though.
Right.
So.
Well, I went to elementary school in my neighborhood.
Okay, so did you have elementary friends that you had?
Yeah, most of those got, but
Peanut, Boogie, and Paul?
Yeah, well.
How they doing?
Paul didn't go to school. Fat Paul just lost his brother, who's been in a wheelchair for over 30 years. He got shot when he was like 15.
Wow.
And
did they ever find the shooter?
They knew him. He lived down the street.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was over some dice game. I don't know why are you playing dice at 15. But
Hustling.
Rest in peace, Eric.
Okay.
But Fat Paul, because last year or a year before, Paul lost his wife. And then now his brother, but
how they doing?
I was surprised his brother had lived that long. I didn't know he had lived that long.
Did they all of them survive? They survived in obviously COVID. So,
yeah, I don't know. People in Philly. I was talking to my boy in Philly. He said it's like a war zone there. He said,
y'all are reckless.
He said people don't even stop for stoplights in Philly.
Y'all on Twitter viral. Y'all are right below us.
Chicago?
Yes.
No, Chicago's.
No, y'all are right below us. By that tier, it's y'all right there.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I realized I had to get out of there. I just wasn't built like that.
I mean, they showed a guy the other night, New Year's. He's on his porch. He just shooting waist high, like in the air. Cars driving by, and he just like, yeah, happy 2022. Happy 2022. I'm just like,
where do these guys get all this money for bullets?
Where they get the guns? You all right?
My stomach.
Oh, you such a wussy.
Got a boo-boo?
You need some Pepto-Bismol?
Yeah.
He's so sensitive about this shit.
All right, take over, Jeff. I'll be right back.
Oh, wow, you got to go.
Oh, wow, he really does. All right.
That's like the Rick Ross interview. I'll be right back. Like, right.
He probably not going to come back. I wanted to chime in on the discussion you guys were just having. Do you think with this whole, like, Black Lives Matter, defunding the police, has anything to do with the rise on crime? Because it's almost like cops said, oh, you want to defund our departments, and it's like they don't care to do their job anymore, really.
I think it's like a gumbo of everything. I think what you said, like with the thing of the defunding the police, them not wanting to do their jobs. It's like now with the verdicts coming out with Derek Chauvin guilty, and then a woman, she was found guilty of manslaughter. It's to the point now, it's like, okay, we're doing our jobs, but now we can go to jail for doing our jobs now. So it's kind of like that. And then just with everything else, it's just like, y'all want to show who's in charge. Y'all don't really need us, so we're going to take our time getting there. I mean, you still have some police officers that's still policing, but now, I mean, it's just to the point where it's just like, okay, it is what it is.
The other thing here in California, our district, is the district attorney, Gascon, is super light on crime.
Yeah.
Like, he's more, people accuse him of being more on the side of the criminal.
Right.
Because he has dismissed a lot of, like,
cases,
special, circumstances, like, a few was one was that you don't get extra time if you carrying a gun. It was just a series of things that people, but they voted him in because they thought he was going to reform the police, or
sweep up crime and and come hard on criminals
and police.
Right.
He wrote on the platform that he was going to also help improve, I guess, the police department.
Yeah, I mean, all politicians
and
lie.
Now because he was going to be harder on, that's what it was. He was going to be harder on police officers who
violate your rights.
Or unjustified shootings and all of that. So
but you should
that's what got him in. That's what got Jackie Lacey out, because they felt she was too easy on cops.
Right.
And then they bring him in, and he's just too easy on crime, period.
Yeah, I mean, it's the judicial system. It just, it's against us. It's for the privilege. We all know that. It's double standards.
Well, no, they starting to get.
I mean, like it's up to the judge, his discretion today, because the 3 men that were convicted in the Ahmaud Arbery killing, they was found guilty. They all face life in prison with no parole. But the judge has his discretion. He can give them years. So I'm waiting for that to come out. So, and then go back to, with the Black Lives Matter and all that. I mean, we're in a city right now. We live out here. LA is just wilding right now.
You just said that about Philly and Chicago. So I'm thinking it's a nationwide thing.
Yeah, they just wilding
where people are not caring about the law, because as you've seen in the news over the holidays, there was a lot of smash and grabs, a lot of home invasions.
And this you going back?
Damn, what the fuck he eat? Damn.
He can't clutch. He'd never make it in prison. They be like, we got one right here. He's mine right here. They call him Loose Val's booty. Remember when I first started, I was telling my man from Atlanta, Sweet Willie Wonk, having them violent bowel movements. That's what he going through right now. He had war with his stomach.
Oh God! Shout out to the chat room. Sweet Willie Wonka's in the room, in the building, and D-Cos, and I see Business Phone, and Steven is in the chat room. Benny Barnes. Oh, I'm sorry, Henry Barnes. My glasses off. No, Lewis is here, but
yeah, he having problems right now. He having mechanical, technical difficulties right now. He's trying to keep his shit together.
But yeah, so I think there's just like where it almost feels like we're becoming a lawless country.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, then you're thinking about there's no extra money for EDD. It's harder now to get unemployment now because how it was so severely abused during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And with the PPP loans and all of that. So, the motherfuckers is out there, I got to get mines now. I mean, as you can see on these viral videos, people are like literally walking into Target, coming out with shopping carts, all of that. So they stacking up. I mean, because we don't know what's going to happen, because right now, 2 new viruses were just introduced. The IHU and then the Flurona. So, I'm like,
I'm sorry. I just have the feeling that people don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. Like the whole thing where you guys talking about the quarantine. First it was 10 days. Now it's 5 days. They just saying it's 5 days because they want people to get back to work. Like, what? It's and like
the Supreme Court now is holding hearings on corporations and businesses that have
mandatory
that
vaccines.
Employ 100 more employees if it's should the employee force you to be vaccinated. So now it's 2 gangs in America now. it's either the vax or the unvax. And that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, well, I don't think anything should be mandatory. I think it should still be up to the person if they want to get a vax or not. But with that said, you still got to follow safety protocol at least. Wear your mask, stay in the house.
But they're not doing that, though. They're not doing that. You see it every day. People are tired of the mask.
And a lot of businesses
are not requiring that.
No, and there's, they might, like, for example, a friend of mine went to a restaurant last week, and out here, you got to show you're vaccinated to go to indoor eating.
Yeah, proof of vaccination.
And he was like, I'm not vaxxed. And they were like, I'm sorry, I can't serve you. He would start to walk away. They was like, no, it's okay. Come on in. Come on in.
Well, I mean, because even at my business, The Dime, we do that. And if it's a slow night, we need the money. We like, all right, I treat it like, like he said, everything is a sports analogy. I'm like, you watch college basketball? They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, this your one and done. Next time you got to have it. So if it's a slow night, yeah, of course you're going to need that money, that income coming in. So you're going to allow it.
Okay.
You back?
The talent is back, yeah.
Wow.
Glad you guys were able to riff raff that.
Okay. Did everything come out smooth?
Came hilarious. It was. So I'm just going to go past what all y'all were talking about.
Wow.
No, I was talking about COVID and all that and your friends and all that, and I was thinking like 2020, it's COVID.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then I was thinking in the 2000, like when my kids were in school, it was lice. That's what you had to worry about. That was just, we called it wingworms. Yeah. Yeah. And my kids went to private school, so they called it lice.
Oh, I see what you did. I see it. That's good.
Neighborhood.
I see what you did.
Yeah. I was.
He was on fire last night at the comedy show.
We had a show last night, and I was riffing off this stuff.
Yeah, he was. So it all came back to you.
So and then in the 90s and the 80s, it was AIDS.
Yeah.
That was,
But that didn't stop people from fucking. They still fuck.
People cautiously. And then the 70s and the 60s, it was mumps and measles when we were kids.
Yeah.
But you didn't stay home. You went
to school anyway.
Yeah, your parents wasn't taking off.
And you forgot also too chicken pox.
Right, chicken pox.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because you had to do scabs, and they tell you don't pick up.
Yeah. And then in the 40s and 50s, it was polio.
Yeah.
It's our parents, but president had it, and because they wanted to walk.
Right.
And then I guess before that, it was Jim Crow laws.
And lynching.
Right. And then they had something else. I forgot what it was called. But so we've always had pandemics. And I know a lot of people who actually don't believe in the COVID thing.
You don't?
No.
They don't? I mean, everything is a conspiracy theory. You hear so much shit.
We got a special guest coming up in a few. I'm going to try to hang.
Don't say that word.
What?
Shit.
Yeah.
Who said? Did I say that?
Yeah, you cursed again. It's
no,
Jeff
time. Said it.
You said it. I said special
But I'm
guest.
just saying it because you're having, a little hard time with shit today. So.
It's my stomach. Yeah. So.
What did you eat, Louis?
Can we get an over and under in the chat room that he might not make it?
Yeah.
Louis, what did you eat?
I gotta go home and rest. I don't know what it was. I don't know.
You sure?
You need a diaper?
It's not.
Depends.
It's not that kind of thing.
No.
Stomach, but it's up top. It's not bottom.
Oh, you regurgitating.
Don't talk about it, because then he'll think about it, and then he'll have to go to the bathroom.
That. Let him
again.
just swallow all that shit. That all come back up.
Did you have a burrito by any chance?
No, I don't eat burritos.
I was gonna say something, but I ain't gonna say it.
Well, almost everybody I know has caught COVID at some point during the pandemic.
Yeah, a lot of people now testing positive.
I'm just knocking on wood. I have not caught it, and I hope not to.
Well, a lot of people necessarily don't have it, but if you're around someone you can just test positive Because a lot of people that I know have been just like, they're not sick, they don't have any symptoms, but they tested positive. Are you leaving?
You're going to do Guy Torry?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I feel so...
You dying?
I'm not dying. Not
okay.
Like that, but...
Come on, man. Man up. It's in a man's world.
This man is not feeling well.
Oh, man. Okay, you going to be like Antonio Brown, take your jersey off? Like, get out of here. We need you to play.
Did you hear about his response?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt it. I felt that. I knew it was more to it than what it was. I know he just didn't go off just to be going off. I know he's not that mentally. He's not that mental. So I knew it was more than to it with the narrative that they was trying to paint.
So can you handle this?
Are you leaving for good?
Yeah, I got him.
Okay, all right.
I don't want him to fall out here.
Wow.
All right, Lewis. We hope you feel better.
Wow. Have a good one. You forgot my money, so.
All right. Sorry about that. That's what made me sick. Will the gate open itself?
No, I'll come open it.
Motherfuckers always got an excuse to not to pay you on something. It's like.
His is that he got a shit, so.
He's throwing up. You pregnant? So I thought it was more mental. It wasn't a mental the way the Tampa Bay Bucks tried to paint it.
But he's had other issues in the past, so it's possible that he has CTE too. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're not gonna know
this
that.
This isn't just one.
No, it's
They can only diagnose it when you die.
Right. Yep.
Wow.
I mean, but he's known for his breakdown and his outbursts. But you got to respect the fact that if he's telling you, I'm not 100% to go out there and give it to you, respect that. I want to be at my best when I'm on the field. You have to respect that. And a lot of coaches and franchises, it's all about the money. It's all about winning. And, it's winning at any cost. And that's why a lot of these players, they do play injured. They do play hurt. And they are fucked up once the game is over. And the NFL was widely known and accused of not taking care of their own until recently. Once they got out of the league, they were like, okay, they're done. The insurance stopped and all of that. And it was current players that had to step up and say, yo, you got to start taking care of the older players that paved the path and made the way for us. Y'all got to reach back and start taking care of that. This is $1 billion conglomerate. I mean, we just, all this money is coming here. These owners are billionaires, and they're not taking care of their players, the old ones and all of that. So I think it was, that was the right call on him. I mean, I'm not mad at him. Once I read his response and I figured out, okay, that's cool. He did what he had to do to protect himself, because obviously once this game is over, y'all not going to look out for me. So that was a good call on his part.
Yeah, but where does his career go from there? You think he'll still
play?
Yeah,
he said he's a talent on the field. You can't deny that. He can get you where where you need to go. Somebody's gonna take a chance and pick him up. He's gonna come and help someone out. People have been saying, San Francisco is just, a receiver away. So that's an option right there. The 49ers may be interested in him. It's just amazing, how people just, a mistake, other people capitalize on your mistake. Like Terrell Owens is constantly tweeting, I know I'm 48, but I'm still in great shape. And he looks, he looks magnificent. And he
still wants to play?
Yes. He's out there running routes and everything at 48. And he's like, yo, Tom Brady, we can get this championship. Y'all can sign me now.
Wow.
He's like, y'all can sign me now. We can get this championship. I can come in these last 4 games and help y'all get another Super Bowl. So it's, like I said, people.
Who's the oldest? Who's played at 48? Anybody?
No. Longevity in football, it's relatively short term. I mean, it depends. It really depends on the position. Like I know the life in the NFL for a running back is like, I think it's like maybe 8 to 10 years. For a receiver, I think it might be cut a little bit short. Also, it depends on your conditioning and the amount of hits and injuries that you sustain, throughout your career. I mean, because a lot of it starts in high school, and it carries over to to the collegiate level, and then to the professional level. So I mean, I know some running backs don't last 2-3 seasons, but then some of them are smart. Like Barry Sanders was smart. He only played 9 seasons. He got out. He's just like, I'm just not going to continue to take my body through this. No money, no amount of money is worth all of this. I got to think about the future. The game was good to me. I gave it what I gave it. Now it's time to walk away. And people were like, really coming up to be that Super Bowl contender when he walked away from the Detroit Lions. So it's like that now. What else did he have down here?
I got some stories. We want to send a shout out to not a shout out, but our condolences to Sidney Poitier, who passed away today at the age of 94.
Oh my God.
He made history as the first black man to win an Oscar for lead actor.
Yeah.
The first black man to win a Academy Award for Best Actor, and is a role model. Yeah, for a lot of black actors who, especially back when he was acting.
Right, he paved the way and opened the door for a lot of us. A lot of, and you can just imagine what he had to stand up for. The roles that he decided that he wasn't going to play. I'm not going to play this role. I'm going to play this role. One of his iconic roles was In the Heat of the Night. Mm-hmm. That was a great role, especially even the director. I just watched a clip where the director said when he was in the scene with the plantation owner, when he smacked them, when he smacked Sidney Poitier and Sidney Poitier smacked him back. He said, we have to put this in here. And that was in the 60s. It's like we have to show that, black men can't be treated this way anymore.
Yeah, he shattered a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah.
And he exuded class.
Yeah.
And I loved him in Let's Do It Again, the stuff he did with Bill Cosby.
Yeah, those were classics.
Yeah.
Those are classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Buck and the Preacher, To Serve With Love.
Raisin in the Sun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mama, you gotta let me be a man.
He lived a long, I would say, beautiful life from our standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
So rest in peace to Sidney.
And you can see a lot of, a lot of actors like Denzel. He admitted, he stole from Sidney Poitier. A walk or the way he says some words and all that. So you take from the best, and you just mold yourself into who you are.
And I put him together with Harry Belafonte.
Yes. Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
He was an activist too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he
at a time where it could have, risked their career.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, when you watch his movies when he first started coming up, he was like the only black in the movie. Where it was like no black extras or anything. He was that only one. Like one of his most iconic roles was with Richard Widmark in No Way Out. And now he played a doctor. He didn't play like an intern. He played like a doctor. He's like, I'm not a doctor's assistant. I am the main doctor. So yeah, he did a lot. Rest in power, Sidney Poitier. And I know they're gonna do all kind of tributes on television, especially TMC. They're gonna show a lot of his movies. So if you get a chance to see and to go watch any of Sidney Poitier's movie, please do. Please do.
All right. Well, our guest is in the Skype room.
Okay.
You got his introduction there, or I'm sure Lewis.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure Lewis wrote it out for you.
Yes, I got it right here. This gentleman, he was born in Fort Ord Military Base in California. He attended Southeast Missouri State University. He's a writer, actor, producer, director, comedian. Started acting at 17 years old. TV shows and films such as Martin, The Jamie Foxx Show, Def Comedy Jam, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Phat Tuesday. He actually brought Phat Tuesday, created a black comedy show at the Comedy Store, which is a main venue for main comedians. And he took that there every Tuesday night. And he's absolutely hilarious. He did Life with Eddie Murphy. He was in Pearl Harbor, American History. I think that's probably his best role was American History. I mean, he really showed his chops and his teeth in that. So please welcome into In a Man's World, my man, my friend, my fellow comedian, comrade, Mr. Guy Torry.
Well, you must not have tried my dinner rolls. My dinner rolls are better than any roll I ever in my life. What's happening?
What's up with you, Guy? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. You know, I heard you reading the bio, man, and I don't know why they won't. I didn't start acting at 17.
You didn't?
But,
okay.
No, I wasn't even out here at 17.
Okay.
I got out here at 23 in 1992, man. But I was acting a fool at 17, but I wasn't actually acting at 17. But
okay, we can correct that. Then you was acting a fool at 17,
and
it
I
just
was
carried
surprised
Exactly.
to learn that you were born in Fort Ord. I thought you were St.
oh
Louis
yeah,
born.
no, I'm original California boy, man. People say, oh, you always claim the West Coast. I claim St. Louis, but I'm a native California. I was born in Monterey. We military brats.
Okay, and then when did y'all move to St. Louis?
Well, we moved
With
to New York
age?
first, actually.
Oh,
it was
okay.
actually New York. You know, we lived in Jamaica, Queens for a minute, and then it was St. Louis. But since I spent most of my years growing up in St. Louis, that's why I claim the STL 314 St. Louis Mo.
Okay, cool. Represent all day long. I know I saw you Tuesday at D Militant's Memorial Roast. You was absolutely hilarious, as you always are. And I have to talk to you because you told me don't talk to you. Lewis was going to interview you. But I have to step up because Lewis, he couldn't hold his shit together, so he had to leave.
Yeah, Lewis had
Yeah.
a stomach ache and he left. in
Oh,
the middle of the
really?
show.
Yeah.
He must have had one of your dinner rolls then. Jeff.
Nah, it's his code 3. So she must have made it. So he had some questions.
He had to take the Browns to the Super Bowl is what he had to do.
That's exactly.
And the bubble guts. There was in the playoffs, while I was grumbling in his stomach that he went home to take it to the Super Bowl. That's the only way the Browns gonna make it to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. That's the only way. So how did you get into stand-up, man?
I mean, yo, you know, like most of us, man, we usually are the class clown, the school bus clown, the campus clown in college. I mean, most of us, you're actually born with it, man, just playing the dozens, man. And it's really taking that and honing it into something you can make money with, man. Like, you know, of course, Joe was my inspiration. You know, I didn't know doing stand-up comedy was a job.
Right.
Hell, if I'd have known that, I'd have dropped out in the 3rd grade and turned pro early. I would have. I always been a, you know, professional asshole. So I was unprofessional asshole back then. But yeah, man, you know, seeing Joe being successful at it, and me being the youngest of 6, actually number 5 or 6 kids, I always did my older brothers and sisters did. So whatever, you know, they did first, they blazed a trail. I came right behind them.
Right.
And so, you know, it just worked out. Def Comedy Jam is the key that started my engine to doing stand-up comedy.
Now, you were funny before Def Jam came along, though, because I saw your hustle and your grind and your determination at the Comedy Act Theater. I mean,
before I did Def Jam, but I didn't start until 92.
Right, but
Def
you put
Jam
that work
started
in, though.
90.
Right, but you
90.
put that work in, though. You put that ground footwork in.
I had to, man.
You was hitting the clubs
had to.
like we all were rigorously, like 3-4 clubs a night. You know, we was all bouncing around at the same clubs. You know.
Yeah. Because you know why? I'm gonna tell you why, man. When I first moved to LA, man, first of all, I knew Joe had already made it. Joe had already been on Def Jam. Joe had already done Poetic Justice. It hadn't come out yet.
Yep.
But he had already done some things. Showtime at the Apollo. He had done a guest star on Amen. And so he was there. So I knew I was going to have some big shoes to fill. I knew that it was going to be some pressure, and so Joe told me when I first moved to LA, man, he said, look, as long as you in these comedy clubs working on your shit, don't worry about paying rent.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I was in clubs every night, sometimes 2 or 3 times a night, like you said, grinding, man, writing my stuff out. If I wasn't going up, I was just studying. Yes. So, the grind was real, man, because I'm like, I didn't want to pay rent and I wanted to be funny.
Right.
Because Joe would go to all these Hollywood parties, man. And for the first few, weeks I was out here, I'd go. But then I'm like, oh, you got to go and network. I had nothing to network with.
Right.
I hadn't done anything. I had nothing to sell.
Right.
And then everybody at these parties was fake as hell anyway. So
Always.
I'm like, I'd rather be in a comedy club. So I was in a comedy club grinding. And Joe kind of took that personal, like, I didn't want to hang out with him. I'm like, bruh, you said hit the comedy clubs.
Right.
I ain't trying to be in all these fake parties, these fake ass people.
Yeah.
I want to be on stage working on my craft so I can get out of your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. And his success built up, through the untimely passing of our mentor,
the great Robin Harris.
Great Robin Harris, because Joe came up, a little after me, Lewis, Ricky, and AJ Sanders. He came up like,
Ricky Harris.
Yeah, he came up, like right maybe a year or so after we was all, under his tutelage and all of that. And you could see it in Joe right then and there, that he had.
And DL was in that crew too, right?
DL came like right after Joe. Joe was like right there. And you saw it because when Robin passed, everyone thought the mic, which we call it the baton, the mic was going to be passed to Lewis because Lewis was the closest to Robin.
Right.
And then Michael surprised all of us because we all knew, because people were like, well, is the comedy act still going to go on? Is it still going to go on? And that was a big question.
That was Robin's house.
Yeah, and that was a big question because those were, huge shoes to fill. And then when the announcement was made, your brother stepped right in and he just filled it, he just filled those shoes gracefully. And that's where I really got to see you, because you had all full access to the stage. And I saw your grind because you would leave there. We go to the Pied Piper across the street, the Page 4, out to Long Beach, Birdland. So, I mean, the grind was real.
I remember when Robin passed. Like, I was in St. Louis, and I think I went to see actually Louis Dix. I think Louis was opening for Luther.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he was.
And he was on that show.
Yeah,
I was still living in St. Louis.
Okay.
He had opened for Luther, and they had announced that this comedian Robin Harris was coming to the Fabulous Fox Theater in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I go back home. I call Joe. I said, "Hey man, I just heard this comedian Robin Harris is gonna be at the Fox, man. I'm gonna get tickets." And Joe goes, "No, I don't get tickets." I said, "Why?" He said, "Man, I know him. That's my friend." I said, "Come on, whatever, man." He said, "No, don't get tickets." Right.
Right.
So a few weeks went by. I didn't hear from Joe. Then I finally hear from Joe. I said, "Hey man, did you get those tickets?" And he's like, "Nah, he died."
Yeah.
I said, "What?" And he had just passed away. Right.
Yep.
I said, "Come on, man. What do you mean?" I said, "If you can't get the tickets, just say you can't get the goddamn tickets. Don't wish death on the man."
Nah, yeah.
And I heard in Joe's voice, said, "Nah, man, he passed away last night."
Yep.
And I was like,
March.
wow. And that's the first time I heard Joe. That's the first and only time I ever saw Joe with a heart.
No, he cried. He
was really broken up about it.
Yeah, it hit us all hard. We all broke down. We all broke down. Because we know we lost somebody who we all looked up to, and who all we wanted to be, and he took us all under his wing. Because Robin was very selfish with his time and his energy. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have full access to him. If you came to the club, he will always recognize you and acknowledge you.
Right.
But like myself, Ricky, Joe, we have full access to him.
What about Martin?
Martin was there with him. Martin was like his right-hand dog, because it was the beauty of that relationship, because it was so competitive. And that was the beauty of watching that relationship blossom and flourish, because, you know, as you said earlier, that was Robin's house, and Robin wasn't going to ever let anyone outdo him in his house. You know,
we cover that story and a lot of that, man.
Yeah.
In the documentary of Phat Tuesdays, because I can't tell the story of Phat Tuesdays without telling the history of Black comedy, but not only Black comedy, what comedy meant to Blacks in South Central Los Angeles,
right,
and in that area, man. So
you,
we give a great tribute to Robin Harris and the Comedy Act Theater.
So you never got personally, you never got to meet him though, right?
No, but you know what? I never got to meet Robin Harris, but hearing all the stories through you and Joe and Martin and Ricky Harris, man, I felt like I knew him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never physically got to meet him.
Yeah.
But I always heard such great things about him. And that's what led me to start Phat Tuesdays, because I heard all the stories before I moved to LA about the Comedy Act Theater from Joe. Man, you got to see this dude named Robin Harris. Man, be packed. Right. Man, Michael Jordan was in there last week. Man, Magic Johnson be in there.
Yes.
Man, and it was such this great place, like a cotton club for comedy.
It was. Yes.
And then when I got to LA in '92, which was post Robin and post riots, I was late '92. This Comedy Act Theater was not the place that I heard about.
Right.
And that's what really led me to start Phat Tuesdays, is that and I won't give it all away because it's in the documentary.
Right. No,
but that was the inspiration behind me venturing into Hollywood to showcase Black comedians.
Can I chime in here a little bit? So congratulations, Guy. I just read recently that you guys actually have an air date and a home for your documentary. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, the home,
Phat Tuesdays.
Yeah, the home was always going to be Amazon Prime because they actually funded it. And that's rare. Usually, you finish a project, you put all your money in, and then you sell it. This one was, I put money into it, of course, doing the sizzle and to pitch it to different production companies. And then we, went forward and pitched it to Amazon and everybody else. And Amazon was the home. I felt Amazon was the right home for it. They said the right things. And so that's where it is. But yeah, that's where it is. February 4th is when it comes out. It's a 3-series documentary, and we're going to release all 3 at the same time.
So
from what I understand.
So it airs February 4th?
Yeah. Okay,
cool. And then a 3-part series. So now
Amazon Prime.
So now, were you the sole creator? Is Phat Tuesday, is that your baby, or did you have like
partners
or some fellow comedians? That was your whole thing.
Definitely the sole creator, but I did have comedians who helped. Who helped pass out flyers, who helped host, like Dannon Green, who was my right hand man at that time, was there, and he would help me pass out flyers. And if I need a host, he would fill in for me and things like that. So yeah, definitely. But as far as like creating it, man, I had no backers. It was my money. What little I had. Now I didn't ask Joe for any money.
Now, had you started doing stuff? Had you?
No.
You had
I started it. No, it started in 1995. I started comedy in 1992, but I did have a couple of credits under my belt. I did have Def Comedy Jam under my belt.
Right.
And I did have one other TV. I think I had Sunset Park under my belt, the movie.
Okay.
And that was about it.
So
glad.
I was just gonna say, Phat Tuesdays, I had an opportunity to go there a number of times, and it was the thing to do on Tuesday nights. In fact, they called it nigga night at the comedy store.
Yeah, sure did.
So, how were you able to get a night at the comedy store, which was really a predominantly white comedy venue?
Well, first of all, it was an assignment from God, because there's no way 3 years in doing comedy, never running a business before, never running a comedy night before, or a comedy room, whatever you want to call it, I could have done that by myself. I didn't know it was an assignment back then. I just wanted to do something to showcase Black comedians.
Right.
But when I look back on and look at all the doors that was opened, and and the success that it had, it was definitely the hand of God that was all up in it, all through it like a puppet, you know. And I was the puppet, and God was controlling every situation that happened. Because you know, I had no money. There was no social media back then. I had no radio budget. I just had flyers I made by myself with no pictures on it. At first, it was just card stock with me going to Kinko's and cutting and pasting the flyers by myself. So, and then I would give them to Dan and Green, and I give them to other comedians to pass out and things like that. So it was definitely a joint effort in terms of getting the word out. And comics who, you know, wanted to perform would also, you know, word of mouth. You know, at that time, there was no room like it in Hollywood. No, Eddie Griffin had a Monday night for a minute. Yeah. That ended in a disaster, not because of him, because of some fighting going on. Yeah, but then after that, there was nothing.
Right. I mean, I remember, and it was a process. Now, how long from your first initial date, without giving too much away in the documentary, did it take for it to actually catch on like a wildfire? Because, like Paul has said, once it was out there, when you came to LA to visit and all that, that was like, what is to do on Tuesday night? Because people sometimes specifically came out here, I want to be at that Phat Tuesdays, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Without giving too much away, you know the business, Jeff. So you've been in it longer than I have. So it's like, you know, it's always a process. You know, it's always a process of building and building and building. But I'll save that for the documentary. But it was when it did catch on. Let's put it that way. When it did catch on, it was man, it was rapid. It was rapid, and it was hotter than slave booty.
And man, and you always gave the thing that I always loved about you, as you know, I always looked at you as my younger brother. You know, I always embraced you.
Absolutely
is the love that you show for comics, man. It was like some comics have that ego, and they'll never let you in their path or in their, you know, or outshine them. But you never, that never was, you know, you never feared that, you know, because you knew you could hold your own with anyone. And you was that cat that would always give everybody that opportunity, you know, to showcase.
I don't know if I knew I could hold my own. I just wanted to share the wealth. Yes. It wasn't about me being able to hold my own. It was like, man, this is enough money for all of us to eat. And because I was a little bit more advanced than the comics who were coming up with me, and I was a little more advanced only because I had Joe as a brother who would give me advice. I worked as a PA on the Martin show, so Martin would give me advice.
Right.
You know, comics who respected Joe kind of gave me residual respect, and they would be in my ear. Chris Rock, even T.K. Kirkland. So I'm like, okay, I would pass that on to other comedians.
Yeah.
I would pass it on to other comedians who were in my class coming up, because I'm like, yo, you know, move the mic stand, you know,
work the light,
get a premise, get a point of view. And those are things I heard from my brother, from Martin, from Chris Rock, from T.K. Kirkland, and from a lot of comedians, Ricky Harris, you know, comedian, I mean, there was Yvette Wilson. Those are comics who kind of like would be in my ear. And everything that I heard, I would pass on to other comedians. So it was more about me sharing the wealth rather than I know I can hold my own. It was more about being inclusive.
No, I was honored when I got that phone call from you. I don't know if you remember when you was like, hey man, your name came up, it's your number, you going to Guam. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you going to Guam, nigga. I was just like, yeah, quit bullshit. Nigga.
I used to book, this dude wanted me to come over.
Pierre.
Pierre wanted me to come over and do a show every week. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
Right.
But I can send other comics over there to do it. I did the same thing in San Diego, Smokies. I don't remember Smokies.
Oh man, come on, man.
San Diego. Smokies, he wanted me to come down and do a show every Tuesday. And I'm like, I'll come down and host and split my money and bring a new comic, 1 or 2 comics up with me every week.
Right.
Because I was still young. I didn't have that much material.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, I could have took the money and faked it and did it every week by myself. But I'm like, nah, give comics a chance to travel, you know, because traveling and doing stand-up, man, I mean, it takes your confidence and your material to a whole nother level.
Now, did you have Smokies before, or did you pass that on to Simply Marvelous?
I'm not sure. I did Smokey's. It was before Phat Tuesdays. I know that because Smokey's was on a Tuesday night as well.
I know.
So it was before Phat Tuesday. And Phat Tuesday started in 95. So it had to be before 95. It had to be 94 maybe.
I think Simply Marvelous she might have had it first, like in 90. Because we used to go.
Okay, she probably had it before me. Yeah,
because I used to golf with Smokey. Because people don't know, that's where Jordan got married at, on his property. Because his house, Smokey, because he had a house.
Who got married there?
Michael Jordan.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's a little known
I was
fact.
never a Michael Jordan fan, so that's probably why I didn't know that.
So Lewis has some of these questions.
I think he's the GOAT, but I'm not a Michael Jordan fan simply for the reason that he won his first ring against the Lakers. I'm very petty.
Wow, really? I was so happy he beat the Lakers,
the only reason why I'm not a Michael Jordan fan.
I was so happy he beat the Lakers, man.
I wasn't.
And I love Magic Johnson. I was so happy that he beat him, yo. I was like, man.
I'm a Laker fan. But Michael is the GOAT, hands down.
Yeah, but because it was only two teams in the 80s that was winning it. It was either the Celtics or the Lakers.
And sometimes the Sixers snuck in there every once in a while.
They got one. And then at the end, the Pistons got two. So, but it was primarily the Lakers and the Celtics. Now, Lewis had a question now. Is like, is there any subject in your stand-up that you won't touch or go that you won't fuck with?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't do rape jokes.
Okay.
I think it's disrespectful and insensitive because people come to comedy shows to get away from their problems and stress.
Right.
And if it's some guy on stage joking about rape, it's not funny to me.
Right.
And I had some opening acts do that before, and I checked them. I said, you either get that out your act or you off the show. You don't do it on my weekend.
Right.
And then I don't talk about plus size women.
Okay.
Fat ass dudes I'll talk about all day long. Plus size women I stay away from. And I don't joke about cancer.
Okay.
Those are the only three things I don't talk about.
Okay.
I love Jesus, but I got Jesus jokes. I talk about my mom's cooch. So if I can talk about those two things, nothing else, nobody else is sacred other than rape jokes, cancer jokes, and plus size women jokes. I don't do.
Okay.
Now, if plus size women heckle me,
it's a whole different story.
All bets are off.
Now he got this gadgets that you can't do without.
Lotion. Oh no, it's not a gadget. My bad.
It might be for you though. Shit, if that's
baby oil. Go ahead.
No. So some of the gadgets that you can't go out with. I mean, that you can't.
Oh man, a phone, cell phone.
Okay.
Laptop or iPad.
Okay.
My Apple TV.
Oh, okay, cool. He put that.
Wait, let me ask you a question to tag along with that. What would you do without those things? Like, we're so, because I said, you know what?
He had that lotion.
I had that lotion. I was gonna say, I'd be using
that baby oil. Like, let me rub this shit all over me and whatnot.
Do you guys
touching myself more? Instead of touch screen, it'd be touch me.
Exactly.
Do you guys realize if all these satellites were to go out, that we would be back to
the prehistoric era? Yes.
Right, but we would not be able to contact people. That would be the main thing. You still have a phone? You have a landline?
Yes.
I do have a landline. But I'm going to tell you right now, not being able to contact people when people contact me would be a good thing.
Thank you.
I know, but in the case of like checking on your moms in St. Louis and, me checking on moms in the Bay, like how would you be able to reach
write
your
a letter?
loved ones?
Write a letter like we used to do?
I know how to sit a pigeon somewhere,
Write a letter like we used to do. If the post, I know the post office is a lot slower these days than it was back in the day.
I just think we've become way too dependent on modern technology.
Absolutely.
But I tell my wife all the time because she flips out and freaks out if she loses her phone. Because she's constantly on it all day. And then I'm not like, and one of my biggest flaws and faults advancing in comedy to this day is social media. I'm not heavily on social media. And people constantly telling me, you need to get on there, you need to get on there. And I keep procrastinating like, I'm going to get to it. But I mean, because I know you're on it though.
I'm heavily on it. I'm just not good at it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
But I'm on it.
I think social media is one thing, but being dependent on your cell phones and your electronic devices.
Well,
is
can
a
you
whole
go without
other
your cell
thing.
phone? How long can you go without your cell phone?
Oh, I can go a long time. I went to Amman, Jordan this year.
Okay.
I went to Jamaica this year, and I didn't really use my cell phone, so I can go without it, man.
Yeah.
As long as the reason why I really kind of kept it because I was still in production with the documentary,
Right.
so I still had Zoom calls and I still had a couple of phone calls I had to respond, emails I had to respond to. So that's the only reason why. Other than that, I don't mind being off the grid. I'll go Jason Bourne on your ass in a minute.
Amen. A heartbeat.
I'll be off the grid.
I'll go on the ground,
Man.
yo. Yeah. And people that need to know. People, I always say in my little circle, people that know how to get in touch with me know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
know,
went.
Only person.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Guy.
I was gonna say the only reason why it keeps is with my mom. And unfortunately,
you.
when the day comes and my mom is in the upper room,
Yep. It's like,
Right.
it's like,
I feel you
No,
100%
I can be
on
ghost.
that one. I can.
thank you.
I feel you 100% on that one. What
Yep.
I was gonna say is I went camping for a couple of days and there was no reception, and that was the best 2 days ever. Just nature, no cars, no phone, no.
well, come on now, poetess. You got 2 satellites sitting on your chest.
They got no reception. Not
All
even
that-
even when he turned the nipples.
All that Wi-Fi and shit, yeah. You gotta know the password for that.
Got 2 big satellites on your chest.
He wanted to put down here things you do well and things you don't do well. All right, so can you spell?
Man, I used to be a good speller into technology, into autocorrect and all that. Man, I'm Fantasia now. I can't even. I can barely read.
So you being from the STL, can you climb a tree?
I've never tried to climb a tree, but I'm sure I can. If a big enough dog get after me, I climb that mother.
Exactly. Technology. You said you.
I'm pretty decent at technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you cook?
Oh man, what? If you didn't see my Instagram,
Yeah,
during
he had a little
COVID in
series
2020,
going on.
Comedy Kitchen, I was burning up some stuff in a good way.
Okay.
Yeah, I can cook, man.
All
I got panty dropping food.
Oh, well, there you go. Shit. You of course, can you drive? Are you a great? Do you consider yourself a good driver?
I'm a decent driver. I'm terrible with directions. I don't particularly like to drive all the time. I'm not a big car guy. I don't. I drive the same vehicle I've had forever.
Okay.
And it's just it runs. I barely drive. I'm barely home.
There you go.
Like I'm usually gone, 40 weekends a year, so and if I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna drink, I Uber.
There you go.
And I live downtown in my little bubble, so I really don't drive, but I can drive. I'm pretty decent. I drove from St. Louis to LA twice.
Okay.
How long did that take?
Exactly.
It took 36 hours, I believe. Yeah.
Wow.
The couple
In the same car you have now?
No. The first car I drove, it was a hoopty.
that motherfucker broke down on I-10 somewhere.
No, it didn't. And it didn't. That's going to be in the book, but that story about driving out here. But the second time I drove out, I bought my vehicle in St. Louis and drove it out.
Okay.
And drove it from St. Louis. I had 9 miles on it when I picked it up. It was brand new, and I've been driving it ever since.
Now, he always asks this question. I'm not going to ask it, Poet. You can ask it. This is Louis. This is his alter ego.
Louis always asks dudes, are they good kissers?
I'm a great kisser. I think I am. I've never had any complaints.
Allegedly.
I'm one of the few men. I don't know why he want to ask me this question, but I'm one of the few men that enjoys kissing. Men don't like to kiss. Women love to kiss. So yes, I love kissing.
Oh, well, there you go, Louis. Checkmate.
Especially at 52, you got to stall and to find.
You got to slow your game down a little. Yeah, you got to slow your game down.
Give your other body parts time to rise to the occasion.
You got to go back because he always say you always use sports analogies. So now you got to know how to run the clock. You know, you got
Yeah,
24
exactly.
seconds, so you got like, okay, yeah. So and we just ain't coming down.
And you got to pass it around. You just can't kiss. You got to, you got to lick the back of the neck, the nape of the neck. You got clavicles you can suck on. You got satellites you can suck on. You got, other areas. You got to pass the ball around, pass the spit around, and then, boom, go for the shot.
Exactly, go for the pit. How honest are you?
You know what? This year, I always pick words that I'm gonna try to live by each year. And this year I have 3 words. It's one is combo word is do, but do stands for discipline and obedience.
Okay.
I want to be more disciplined this year and obedient, to what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be walking in the world. And then the other one is truth. And when it comes to truth, I say I'm gonna tell the truth this year. Sometimes we want to spare people feelings, and we don't always tell the truth. But God damn it, this year I'm telling the truth. And I had a conversation yesterday and today where I had to tell the truth because with this documentary, man, it's my first joint,
right? And
as executive producer, and of course I wanted everybody I could get in it,
right?
But that's impossible. And when you're not writing the check, even though you're an executive producer, you have other people who are making final decisions, and you have to pass things through. And a friend of mine, was upset. A few friends that they weren't in it, and at first of all, they said they weren't asked to be in it, which was not true. And I told them, that don't lie, that's not true. You were asked. And then second of all, it was like, I have a lot of friends who are producers, directors, who have awards and everything, and I'm not in their projects, and I don't ask them why. It's like if I'm supposed to be in it, I will be in it. I don't hold any grudges. I'm not slighted in any type of way. That's the business.
Right.
And I had to tell, this person today that, look, they didn't want you in it.
Plain and simple.
I tried to not tell them and leave it, not tell them that. But they were like, I said, look, man, I was fighting for you to be in it. They didn't want you in it. Period. Exactly. They didn't think your story was relevant. Right. So I tried. And but also you're dealing with, when you're dealing with, a production, you're dealing with other people's money, but we were dealing with time constraints. We're dealing with COVID. We're dealing with location.
Yes.
And there only was so many slots that they wanted to fill, or they had to fill. And then, because it was COVID, we had to pay for everybody's COVID test. Right. And the staff, we got tested every day.
Right.
So that limited the budget. It limited the days, because each day you rent a space out, that's more money.
Right.
And people don't understand that. It's like, and when I tried to get this person in, I called them because we had a spot open up at the last minute, and I said, I need you in today. They went off and did a athletic activity that they thought was more important. So
and that's on them. Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I got interviewed for the project. I don't know if I'm gonna make the cut or not. It's all good if I do or don't. But I wanted to mention Reggie Hudlin is working with you on this, correct?
Yeah, and you also, not only did you get in it, and I haven't seen final edits yet, but not only did you worked on the sound, I had to do some voiceover work. And we use Morris Media.
Yay!
There you go. See, got that plug.
I learned that from Tiffany Haddish. To be quite honest, when she was on a big project and she said she would only do it if she did it at Morris Media, and I took a note out of her book and told our production, any voiceover work I got to do it at Morris Media. Keep the money in the Black community. And support Black women as well. So
I appreciate both of you for that.
That's
what we need to do. But I will say, I did take a page out of Tiffany Haddish's book when I heard that she had done that.
Okay, cool. Our final thing is, man, before we get you out of here, we always compare to the NBA. And when we zoomed your brother, my thing was old school with your brother. I told your brother, I was like, okay, in the league, because Lewis was like, well, no, he's Isaiah Thomas. He's won championships. I said, I get it too, but Joe is like Gus Williams, because Gus was before Isaiah. Okay. He was like.
If it was football, he'd be Antonio Brown, but go ahead.
He'll take it. So, in the league, who are you? You can be modest. Put yourself out there. Who are you?
I ain't gonna be humble with this. I'm not gonna be modest with this. I would say Magic Johnson.
My man. Okay.
Because Magic Johnson was all about the assists.
Exactly.
He may not been a great shooter, but he was a scorer. And I may not be a great comedian, but I'm funny. And I love, as Magic Johnson making the assists, I love getting other people involved, and I love assisting others. I love, Bam, helping everybody out, and we all win. And I got championships.
There you go, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come into a man's world and let us know who, and chat with you, man. I always enjoyed you. I love you as a brother, respect you. And like I told you the other night, man, that was some funny shit you said at D. Militant's roast. I mean, you killed everybody. We're back at the Regency West on Thursday nights.
Thursdays, yeah, I got to get down one Thursday, man. You're going to see me.
And it's for you and like your brother, like I told him, you have an open stage policy, man.
I appreciate that.
When you walk through the door, just let me know when you want to go on.
People don't realize we need spots like that.
Yes.
And not only do we need spots like that, we need the community to come out and support spots like that.
Yes.
It's still not an even playing field in the industry when it comes to young comedians without credits getting stage time.
Right.
And spots like, the Regency West is what helped me. Spots like Marriage Flat, the Funhouse helped me. Spots like the Townhouse with U.S. Moore, Juan Dexter, and Hope Flood. Yeah. Spots like that helped me early in my career. And that's why, when the Common Union was open on Pico and they were about to close, and I came in to kind of save them, it was because I didn't come up through that club, but I came up through clubs like the Common Union. I wanted to keep it open so that comics who don't get the opportunity to perform at the Improv and the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory get. So we need those rooms, but we need the support of the community to come out and support, so we can keep these rooms going, so we have a place to come and work our material out.
So, and my truth is with it, the Comedy Act Theater, the Regency West, is that it catapulted to all these other rooms. It spawned all these other rooms that we have. It created Phat Tuesdays. It created Chocolate Sundays at the Laugh Factory. It created
Phat Tuesdays created Chocolate Sundays, just for the record.
But it was the domino effect. But
I know you said when you were sitting in the documentary, we gave a great tribute and shout out to the Comedy Act Theater, and for sure.
Michael Williams.
Michael Williams.
Yeah,
he
Michael
was like
Williams,
the godfather of it all. Yeah,
he's in the documentary.
Yes, he was the godfather, and
because you hear a lot of names that are thrown around in Black comedy, but rarely do you hear Michael Williams, who started the Comedy Act Theater.
Absolutely.
A lot of comics, it was the way. And just we speaking the truth, it was just the way it was mismanaged at times. Mm-hmm. So a lot of comics were bitter, and and they held those grudges against Michael. But Michael,
how Black folk are.
Yeah, but in fairness, all to Michael, even though he was a businessman, and a lot of us didn't understand that at the time.
The business.
We didn't understand the business of it because we all wanted to be that favorite. We all wanted that privilege when we walked in the door. And he gave opportunity to everyone. He gave opportunity to everyone. If you bombed or not, Michael was always there to lift you up and say, okay, you bombed tonight. I'm putting you up tomorrow night. Be back tomorrow night. And some cats would be like, nah, but then if you come and he told you to come back after you bombed the previous night, but then a big name came, we all had to humble ourselves to the Martin Lawrence.
Got bumped.
Yeah, we got bumped. And a lot of cats at that time didn't understand that, so we want to say that. Man, thank you once again for coming into a man's world. It's appreciated, man. Love you. Stay safe, healthy out there in 2022. Much continued success, blessings, and prosperity to you and your fam, yo.
And don't forget to watch Phat Tuesdays that debuts February 4th on Amazon Prime.
3-part series.
Go Rams. And go Lakers, and go Phat Tuesdays.
Yo, go Phat Tuesdays Fuck the Rams, Bears, yo. All right, my man. I'll see you, yo.
Thanks, Guy.
Thanks,
Happy
Guy.
Bears
New
ain't
Year.
still no part of the playoffs.
For right now, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. We on our
Ram
way.
Nation.
All right, money.
My gang sign, my Rams gang sign.
All right, okay.
All right,
All right,
Guy,
thank you, sir.
Take it easy. All right.
Man, what a talented guy that is, man.
Very, very humble, very cool.
Oh, always been that way.
I mean, we could have kept him on a little longer. We didn't really get to delve into his movie career.
I know.
But we'll have him back on. Maybe we'll have him back on closer to the time that his documentary comes out.
Yeah, we should. We should do that. Yeah. Is our next guest there?
No. In fact, not Chris Rock. Tony Rock wasn't able to make the show today, so he's supposed to come on next Friday.
Okay.
So, I guess that's it. I mean, I did have one topic, but I can save it for next week.
It's up to you, bud. It's up to you.
Okay, so recently the oldest living person turned 119 years old on Sunday.
Wow.
And I kind of question, would I want to live that long?
Yes. Why not? If you're able to...
Because your body changes, you aching all the time, you could barely walk, you can
did they have a picture of her?
Yeah, and she looks 119 years old.
Shit, if I can wake up breathing...
But she's well, yeah. I mean, I guess it depends what kind of shape you're in.
Yeah, if I'm waking up and I'm breathing, I deal with the pain. I'm like, okay, he gave me another day. I'm going to be grateful and thankful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be grateful and thankful for every day that I wake up too, but it just seems like, what do you feel like at 100 years old?
But shit, look at some motherfuckers what they feel like at 30, 45.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in my 50s and I feel old.
I'm 60 and I feel great. I feel fabulous.
I mean, I feel great, but I can tell the changes that are
in your
going
body.
on. Yeah.
Them satellites getting, it's time to reload.
Satellites are fine.
The satellites, you got to move
fine.
them. Okay.
But anyway, this lady, her name is Tanaka, and she's from Japan. And Coca-Cola made her a customized bottle commemorating her birthday because she drank Coke.
Oh, wow. Some people
and
had
they
that
say
vice.
that Coke is not good for you, but apparently.
Hey, you know what? My dad says, the greatest shit, and he lived to 87. And he was still, he was lactose, all of that. But he still ate his ice cream. He still drank his Pepsi. And he like, hey, man, I've been doing this shit all my fucking life. I ain't going to stop now. At some point, yeah, I'm going to die, but I'm going to enjoy all this shit. I'm like, okay, cool. So you got to let some people have their vices to continue to have.
Well, actually, a couple of things I came across when I came across this story is, where is it at? Well, as I'm looking for it, it's the vices that people have and still managed to live a long life.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one, top secrets to a long life, according to the Centenarians. One is a woman claims that staying single was the key to her long life. No stress in relationships.
Nobody fucking with her. She ain't fucking with nobody. She good.
Staying single is one. The other one was... she too said being single, but she also ate 2 raw eggs and 1 cooked egg every day since the age of 20.
Wow. And
she also became a vegetarian out of fear that meat causes cancer. So she had an egg thing. This other guy who lived to be 101 says Coors Light every day.
I mean, some people like the lady with eating the 2 eggs every day, right? Look at all the amount of cholesterol that was in her from the eggs. Some people, like we said, they vices keep them going. It's like I'm 60 and...
What's your vice?
Sweets.
Oh, yeah.
I keep saying to myself every fucking day, I was like, I'm gonna give up the donuts. I'm gonna give up the donuts.
Oh
but
man,
I'm right
donuts are my.
I'm at every fucking
kryptonite.
chance I get. I'm at Randy's. I'm like,
What's your favorite donut?
I like the chocolate. You know, the chocolate ring, or the chocolate ice cake.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, is a woman supposedly in India lived to be 125, and she smoked weed every day.
Yeah, that kept her going. Shit. She ain't had time to think about death. She was high, so shit, she was good. I mean, I wondered. The only thing that it would probably be a good thing is like, you know, would I still be able to have sex at 119? You know, if my shit still get hard.
Well, I've heard of men around that age to have, like, what Larry King had.
Yeah, if my shit is able
He
to
had a
just,
kid.
if like flicker up just a little bit, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Shit, the blood's still flowing, I'm good. I mean,
Okay, so one is British woman named Dorothy Howe. She went viral 2 years ago for insisting that Bell's whiskey
kept her going.
and Super King's black cigarettes were the reason she made it to 100 years old.
Hey, you know.
And these are the things they say will kill you or will kill you
Obviously.
sooner.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, like I know this one guy in Chicago. He lived to be like 102, and every day he would have 2 shots of Old Grandam bourbon. That was his drink.
Yeah, my great grandmother, she had a Coors every day.
See, yeah.
And she passed away from a car accident. She was in her 80s and she was in good shape. She walked. She still did things that she probably could have made it at 100.
Right.
You know, but she had her Coors every day.
Yeah, I mean, so today, and it has been, you know, since the beginning of time, you know, the life expectancy, it's, you know, you never know when it's going to come.
Yeah.
You know, and how it's going to come. Like when we did the roast the other day, demilitants roast, you know, before I went up and I introduced Lewis, you know, I was just like, you know, don't get too comfortable here, because the people behind me, you know, we're going to be right back here within a month or two. You know, it's the over and under. You know, some of y'all ain't going to make it. Let's just be real about the shit, you know. And motherfuckers was like, what? Why would you say? I'm like, yo, honestly, you know, because I just saw Demilitant this summer. But and that's another thing we was going to talk about too, Portis. We as black men, especially, we hide our ailments and our illness. We don't let nobody know. And, you know, when I saw Demilitant, I was just like, yo, man, you look good. You know, we doing a comedy whenever you want to. And he was like, yeah, I'll be right here. You know?
Yeah. Well, he did a podcast here for a short time.
Okay.
And when the pandemic hit, he made it known that he had health issues and that he would not be able to continue doing his podcast because he was staying inside trying to be safe because he had underlying issues.
Okay.
So he was pretty open about that, but I don't know if he knew that his time was as short as it was.
Yeah, we never know. That's the thing about it, you know. Like I always say, you know, someone went to bed the exact same time you went to sleep last night. We were fortunate enough to wake up.
It's the process of life, sadly to say.
Yeah.
We're all going to go at some point. But
you know?
This person lived to be 116 years old.
Wow.
He was once the world's oldest person. Was a she until she passed away recently. But she refused to eat like what is this? But her diet was honey buns, McNuggets, Wendy's chili.
Oh, all that processed food kept her going.
And some hog head cheese.
Oh man.
And she lived to 116.
That processed food, McDonald's shit, that saves a lot of people's life. She ain't got to cook, so her body, her immune system is used to all of that.
I like this one: coffee in the morning, liquor in the evening. Although I'm not really a drinker. The older I'm getting, the less I enjoy drinking alcohol.
Them rough mornings, them hangovers.
Yeah, just that, and I swear, no matter how much I drink, I always am tired in the morning, even if I just have like one beer.
Now, something. Are you, when you do drink, are you do you open up more? Do you like? Are you more reserved, conservative? Are you obnoxious? Are you an angry drunk?
I think I open
Are you
up more,
mean?
but I used to be a mean drunk because I used to drink Tanqueray. Tanqueray always made me want to fight, but in my younger years. But
Tanqueray
no,
made you want to fight?
Yes.
Man, when I drank Tanqueray, that made me want to fuck. I'm like, okay.
No, I want to
Dang.
fight. I was ready down to fight every time I drink Tanqueray. But I open up, I relax, but I don't drink a lot when I do drink.
Okay.
I think maybe 2, 3 tops.
Maybe 4.
Not 4, because I know at 4
To
I'm gonna
move
be
them
feeling
satellites,
real
maybe
fucked
4 or
up.
5.
Nah, I don't drink like that anymore. But
Okay.
But when you and Guy were talking about being honest, that comes when you get older too, because you don't really care about certain things like you did when you were younger.
Well, I think my dad
Comes with wisdom.
Yeah, but I think my dad instilled that in my 2 brothers at a early age. Because I remember I had lied to my dad, and he had caught me, and he had saw what I had did. And he just wanted me to be truthful and honest. And I was so afraid of the repercussions because I didn't want to get my ass whooped. I lied, and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to give you another opportunity. I'm going to let you think about it. And when he came back, I stuck to my story. And he just told me everything I had did and my movements and all that. And I was just like, wow. And he lit my ass up. And then afterwards, he was just like, yo, you ain't never got to lie to me. You ain't got to lie to your mama. He's like, always tell the truth. Look a person in their eye, tell them the truth. And as long as you telling the truth and you being honest, let them deal with it. And as I found out through the years in the process, and I became more and more honest and more truthful, it's like I became comfortable with just telling the truth. It's like, I'm telling the truth. It's how you handle it. Because some people can't handle the truth. Some people will look to debate with you and be like, it's like, no, that's the fucking truth. I'm telling you my truth, and that's how I feel. And that's how I've always been. So if you can't handle it, that's on you.
Yeah, I find myself being more honest in my older age, but I try to do it in a tactful way because sometimes I could just be really brutally
Sometimes
honest.
that's the best policy sometimes because, it's right to the point. So it's no misunderstanding. Right. She was like, oh, okay,
Right, and so you might be mad at first, but later on you appreciate it.
Right.
But somebody in the chat room says, POTUS, were you and MC Light about to throw hands? No, actually, the last time I drank some Tanqueray, I got into a fight with a guy.
Wow. Did you win? No.
Well, what happened was this guy that I was going to college with took me and one of my homegirls out to a club.
Oh, yeah.
And he was liking me, but, I was young. I was in the club just doing my thing.
He wanted a threesome, and you like, nah.
That nigga was like, I'm ready to go. He had an attitude or whatnot. So my friend was like, well, we should go because we don't have a ride home, etc.
You like, fuck that.
And so.
Was you in the Bay?
No, this was at L.A. at
I was going to say the
Carlos.
And Charlie's?
And Charlie's.
Whoa.
And so anyway, dude was like, I'm getting ready to go. If y'all want to ride home, you gotta leave with us. So I was like, okay, well, all right, let's go. So
party pooper.
There was a couple guys in the club that was trying to get at me and my homegirl. So we was like, oh, we gotta go, blah, blah, blah. So we get out to the car and we get ready to go, and he starts talking shit. Like, you bitches don't appreciate shit. And
I'm grateful ass bitches. I'm buying y'all drinks and all night.
Right.
You
so
talking
you
to
know,
some other niggas and shit.
Right.
Disrespecting me and shit.
I'm already like off of a couple Tanquerays and tonics.
You on like, okay,
and
nigga,
I
let's
was
go.
I was like, you got one more time.
One more bitch. Yeah.
Right, you got one more bitch. I said, and I'm finna sit in the back seat. So I got over into the back seat and he said, bitch, one more time. And I swung around to the front and hit him in his jaw, and he turned around and started bombing on me.
Wow.
But I had on high heels, so I was kicking him in his head with my high. We was in an all-out fight in his car. And my homegirl sat in the front seat panicking. She could have been bombing on him from the front seat, but she was like, "Oh my God, you guys stop. You guys stop." So he took a drink, I guess he had in his hand, and threw it in my face. And it kind of like woke me up out of my day. So yeah, we fought, but I got him too. He got a couple high heel dents in his face, but
did y'all remain friends after that? Did y'all?
He tried to be cool after that, but I was done. Like the thing was, he did hair, so he was
didn't do your hair no more.
He never did my hair, but he offered to do my hair after that. I was like, fuck no.
He's like, nah, bitch. Nah.
He done cut all my damn hair off.
Put that dye in your hair, fuck your shit up. Your shit be burning.
Oh my God. So yeah, I got in. That was the last time I drank some gin and tonic too, because normally I wouldn't have even fought dude. I would have just probably either got out the car, so after the fight, I got out of the car and we walked back up to the club because I had to use the phone to call Pops to come pick me up because they didn't have cell phones back then.
They had no pay phones.
And the guys who were talking to us at the club,
what happened to you? What happened to your
came
hair?
out and ended up giving us a ride home.
Oh, okay. Did y'all go to breakfast?
No, but he stopped at the store and got me a steak from a black eye.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah, so I stopped drinking gin and tonic. That was the end of that.
But you know,
for me.
and that was when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I have I have ownership in a dive bar that I'm at every night, the Dime in L.A. And then I'm seeing that now a lot. Young women, when they drink, they are so aggressive. They are very aggressive.
Aggressive how? Like
to becoming violent. And what I'm also seeing too is like young women are always putting their hands on you. And I mean in a physical manner.
Do you think that's more so today, or has it always kind of been like
that?
I
think I'm seeing it more and more today. I'm seeing it more and more because I'm seeing it, and it's just not just one race. It's like black women, white women, Hispanic, Asian. They're so quick to want to throw hands, or they're so quick to like just smack you.
Well,
and
I've
I'm
never
like,
been.
Fuck,
I've never been one to think that was okay. I don't ever think a woman should put her hands on a man.
So that was one of the topics we was going to discuss last week. So we here. So, and I don't think it's okay. But my question is, as a man, as a human, at what point do you have a right to stop and defend yourself? When can you say, okay, I'm not going to continue to allow you to hit me
you
or
walk
assault
away.
me? But what if you can't walk away? What if they won't allow you to walk away? And because I see it every night. I see it every night.
You have the choice to lay hands, but the better choice is not to. The better choice is defend yourself and to leave.
Yeah, but like I said, I see it every night when guys.
Some women, I hate to say it, but some women think that's a confirmation of love sometimes when a guy smacks on them and then makes up with them.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing I won't intervene in and I won't get involved in. If I know you a couple, I know that's that domestic shit, and I stay away from that.
Yeah,
I stay away from that. I mean, if you allowing him to beat your ass, then that's on you. Because if I try to intervene, and I've seen it before, the woman would turn on you. Like, why are you fucking up my man? This is my man.
Right.
Stay away from
you.
him.
At the end of the day, and I say this about people that are addicted to drugs too, is that you have to want to get help. If you don't want the help, there's nothing anybody could do for you.
No, some people are like, they want that drama. Some people wake up living for that drama. But in this instance, like I saw, like the other night, this woman and her girlfriend, they were belligerent. They were drunk. And they just somehow got into an altercation with these other dudes. And I mean, it became physical. And the guy tried to walk away. And he's like, yo, I'm not going to. But she kept getting in his path. She spit on him, and she smacked him in the face.
That's one thing. Now,
And he's like, yo.
when somebody spits on you, I swear that's like the lowest
form of disrespect.
Yes.
But then she took her heel off, and when he walked past her, she like hit him right back here on his shoulder. And then she drop kicked the nigga in the back. And he's like,
Okay.
no, but I'm saying, but then the thing that happened.
God, is it wrong to say there's exceptions? I mean,
But no,
some
but-
people, man or female,
But the thing
might have to get smacked or.
But the thing was, Portis, when he finally, that drop kick, that was what triggered him, the spit and all that. And the way he hit her, you heard her. You heard the hit. Now you got niggas want to jump on him now. That was out there witnessing all that. And he's like, yo, dog, come on, man. Dog, that's a female, homie. And I'm saying, yo,
Did they see the before?
They saw all of it.
Oh, wow.
And they was like, yo, bro, just walk away. Walk away, homie. Walk away. He like, I'm trying to. But she all up in my face. I'm trying to.
Then run.
I'm trying to get around her. And her girlfriend like, nigga, you come in. Don't touch me, nigga. Don't touch me. Walk around. And he like, yo, excuse me. Walk around. And then it got to that point where it's like she spit in his face. And then she hit him with the heel. Then when he finally got around, she just ran behind him and just like kicked him. And he's like, you know what? Enough. And you literally saw the dislocation of her jaw and 2 teeth come out.
Wow.
And now you had the niggas like, dog, are you serious,
Yeah,
man?
that's a tough one, but
That's a female, homie.
will she put her hands on somebody again like that?
I think she will.
Oh, then.
But then you had the 2 girls that was there that were continuously agitating it, provoking it, going on. Now they sobered up when they heard the hit. And they're like, are you serious? Look at her jaw. Are you serious? Now everybody's like, nigga, that's a woman, man.
I think everybody has their tipping point.
And that's what that was the question.
Everybody has their tipping point.
As a male and a female.
Because you don't know what people are going through.
And especially in these times.
Even if it's not a domestic situation, if you're walking down the street and you're rude to somebody, you don't know what they're going through. That could have been the last straw, and then there's that, So
Like,
everybody has a tipping point. And some people will push you there.
I mean, like the video that went viral of the white woman, have you seen that one on the Delta flight when she smacked the old guy? Mm-mm. And he just sat there and, his wife, and people were like, well, his wife should have jumped up. But they were old. They were an older couple. And she was talking about, put your mask up. But then at first she spit in his face and then she punched him. And he remained calm. But, my thing is when I see it, I'm like, I try to say, I don't ever want to be placed in that situation or be in that situation. But the one thing I'm not going to allow you to spit on me.
Yep, not spit. But I have to maybe back up a little bit and say there's probably some exceptions. But I totally don't think a woman should be putting her hands
on anyone. On
a man. I've never been in a physically abusive relationship, but I have been slapped before.
You was in a fight in a car.
Oh, I didn't have I wasn't dating dude. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It don't have to be dating.
So
to be like,
I was in a relationship and I got slapped because I threw a book at my boyfriend and the corner of the book hit him dead in his chest in like a reflex action. Right. I was within slapping range and I got slapped. And I act like nigga killed me. No, but
like, oh my God!
Yeah, you slapped me. Oh my God!
Oh, we just gonna disregard you threw a fucking book in my chest, in my esophagus to stop me from my win. Right. So fuck all that shit,
Right. So I don't put my hands on men. I don't know what their tipping point is, and I don't want to get slapped, or I don't want
Well, no, trust me, dudes are not slapping; they punching. Full force. And I mean, like Whoopi said when the Ray Rice incident came out, like she said how she was, times have changed, but, and she has to evolve. But as she was brought up, she was taught, don't put your hands on someone if you don't want them to put their hands on you.
Right.
You know, because it's a two-way street.
Right. And I'm seeing in the chat room, a lot of people believe that if you hit someone, you liable to get hit back. So, and it's.
But dudes are like, it's just so funny when you're like, okay.
I think guys are society thinks guys should be more restrained.
I think to a point, but like I was talking to Lewis about it, and his thing has been always advocate like walk away. You have to walk away. You have to run. But at some point, it's like I'm not gonna run from this situation. I can stand here too. You just whatever you're going through. If you
sound like you be smacking hoes, Jeff. You sound like you've
I see it a
laid hands a couple times.
I've never done that.
Don't say never.
No, I've never done that.
In your 60 years.
Yeah, it's never done that. Never. Never. No. I've threatened though. I've threatened.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten to the point where I have to remove my glasses and I get nervous and I start, the nervous comes inside. And it's just like, and I've threatened it, like 2 weeks ago, honestly, a young girl got up in my face. And she was just with all the yapping and yapping and the yapping. And then she spit down at me, but she didn't spit on me. And she was like, nigga, I'll spit in your face. And I'm nervous. And I'm like, let me tell you something. You spit in my face, and I'm going to beat your ass like a nigga.
Wow.
I said, I'm just going to let you know that. Now, you have the opportunity. You can't blame it on the alcohol. I'm telling you not. If you spit in my face, I'm going to beat your ass like a nigga. Now, that's a choice you're going to make. Because you spitting in my face, it's going to be consequences that's going to come with that. So, and I just stood there, and she just looked at me, and she's like.
You gave her something to think about, because I certainly would have thought twice about spitting on you if you said that to me.
And she looked at me, and she like, you ain't going to do. I'm like, okay, go ahead and spit and find out. So no, I've never done that, Even though I get upset at women, I try not to even like disrespect you and call you out your name. I won't do that. I've learned that from my dad. So I won't call a woman out her name, even if I'm upset. Especially if I love you and I care for you, I would never disrespect you and call you out your name. So I'm not built that way when it comes to that.
We have a phone call. Caller.
What up, y'all? It's Big J in Dallas.
What up, Big J?
Jeff, how you doing, folks? Man, it's good to see you, man.
Man, it's good hearing you, man. Happy 2022 to you, man. You all right?
Yeah, man, living good, man. Paul, this is great to hear your voice, man. I love you.
Thank you.
Just don't give it no Tangeray.
Still got that couch. So, big facts. I grew up in a family where some of the men in my family, particularly one branch, we all know people that do that. Well, my family was one of those families that didn't care if it was a female. They would put hands on them in a heartbeat. And it wasn't necessarily just girlfriends. It was cousins, sisters, wives, whatever.
Right.
They just didn't have that sense of restraint.
Okay.
And so from a young age at different family get-togethers, and sometimes it's alcohol, but it's not even always that.
True.
Females will pick at a man over and over and over. And sometimes it's verbal. Sometimes it's being disrespectful. Sometimes it's saying things in front of others. They will do all this stuff before they actually get to the point where they lay hands.
Now,
the difference is if a woman smacks at a man or slaps him or whatever else, it's irritating to us. But if we smack a woman or punch her, they break.
Right.
And I've seen women broken when they get in conflict with a man. And my whole life has been to recognize when females have those tendencies. Right. They don't have that self-restraint. They don't have those boundaries. They don't have those good judgment. Get the fuck away from them. And get away from them early. Because, I've lived my life with that as a principle. Stay away from that sort of toxicity and drama.
Now, let me ask you, how old are you?
I'll be 50 in 2 years.
Okay, now are you married, single, divorced?
Married almost 20 years.
And you still married now, right?
Yeah, I'm the most eligible eligible husband here in Dallas.
Okay, well, there you go. Now, throughout the marriage, and not
Wait. What does that mean?
Girl, hush. Stay focused.
The most eligible, is that like
That's an old Corey Holcomb joke, man. Keep moving.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
joke.
No. So does that mean you're available to other women?
Don't let me think I got a shot, girl. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing but a Southwest. You ain't nothing but a buddy pass away.
Oh wow, he in the airline industry. There you go. Shit, he just told on
I
himself.
am really talking shit now. No, I've been married almost 20 years.
Just
No
break-
outside kids. Never had no drama. And that's because I live my life avoiding that sort of toxicity.
Okay.
Now, if I understand where you're headed, Jeff, have we ever had conflict in those 20 years? Absolutely. Has it ever led to anything
Physical?
close to that? No.
Okay, cool.
No.
Good. Good.
But that's also because early in the relationship, I have, and she has maintained effective boundaries. So there have been nights we weren't speaking to each other. Couldn't stand. You're gonna be with somebody that long.
Right.
You're gonna have those moments.
Yeah.
But my hard rule has been keep my hands to myself. I don't ever even threaten her with violence.
Okay.
The worst thing I've ever done is over the years we had an incident. I just sat on her till she calmed down. That's really the reality.
You weigh more. Does she weigh more than you, or you weigh more than her? Okay.
No, I just sat on her. We were trying to get. We had a disrespectful guest. Things were going sideways.
Okay.
The guest was being escorted out. She wanted to continue out after, and I was like, nah, it's over. She wouldn't relent, so I just sat on her until old girl got out.
That
of
probably
there.
made her madder.
Oh, yeah, she was pissed off. Well, until they start crying. You know, after a while, they can't move.
Yeah.
You got your knees outside her arms, and she goes, as soon as you start hearing that whimper, you're like, oh, all right.
Sometimes you got to bypass that.
Well, just wait till
It's what you asked for,
See,
goddamn.
you ain't going nowhere. 130 pounds versus 220. You're not going to throw me off of you or anything like that. And it wasn't nothing. If she had gone outside, it could have escalated to another level. So there was no reason for that.
Right.
And this wasn't even somebody. This was a guest of a guest. So there's no reason to. Yeah, we're never gonna see that broad again. You crazy?
You trying to have a threesome? Oh no.
Nah.
I
Only when I use my passport.
There you go. So how's everything else been going? You got kids?
2 boys, man. My youngest is 17, and we've been racking up the acceptance letters to college. So just
What sport?
keeping an eye on the mailbox. None. He's a musician.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did band all 4 years and gonna study education and music, and we're excited for him. So,
Is that your youngest or your oldest?
No, that's my youngest, man. 17 and 27.
So you ain't mentioned the 27, so he must not be doing it. It's always that one.
Nah, he's winning.
Okay, no, it's
both of my boys. Neither one of my boys is giving me any problems, man. I mean, just to be honest with you, I've been very blessed. I don't have no secret advice or anything else, but I'm very proud of both of them. Man.
They never had that one time, neither one, especially 27. They never had that daddy moment where
buck up on them. Yeah, no, definitely.
There you
gotta
go.
buck up on them at a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, the first time they get a taste, start smelling themselves, walking around squaring their shoulders, hips forward in your house. You might have to, rearrange their clothes or something, but that's not, to me, that's just part of parenting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, setting boundaries and being a disciplinarian is part of fatherhood. So that doesn't mean I'm, to be honest with you, when it happened with my oldest, and he was not a tough guy like that, but, he tried to square up, and okay.
Man, you're going to lose this one, homie.
Oh, it never even got that far. Got him around the throat, put him on the ground.
Whew, you like...
He tucked his tail just like he's supposed to.
You like sitting on motherfuckers, I see,
I guess that's better than getting punched.
One thing you said that I don't agree with is men don't slap. And I'll be honest with you. In my family, we'll slap the shit out of niggas. Big fact.
Quick, fast, and hurry.
Yeah, open hand slap solves a lot of problems early. Because don't nobody ever want to get slapped, especially a man.
But, man, that's good, man, that you're doing well in your family and all that, man. Everybody doing well? Everybody tested negative? Y'all still healthy down there?
Bro, we've been keeping it real private, man. Not a lot of get-togethers. We might go down and see my folks from time to time, something like that. But, keeping our distance, being responsible, staying away from folk. We're all vaxxed and boosted and, just gonna ride this thing out, man. I just want to get on the other side of it and get back to life. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's part of life now, man. So, hey, man,
Yeah,
appreciate you calling in, man. Continue to support, listening to us, man. We here for you in the man's world. Much continued success and prosperity to you and your loved ones, man. Thanks for calling again.
My brother, it's great talking to you. Y'all be well.
Thank you.
Stop flirting with these callers like that. You give them false hopes.
He get jealous.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so this just broke. The killers that killed Ahmaud Arbery have been sentenced to life. A judge on Friday sentenced the 3 white men convicted of murder of Ahmaud Arbery to life in prison, with Travis and Gregory McMichael receiving life without parole.
Wow.
And William Roddy Bryan receiving life with the possibility of parole.
After how many years?
I don't have that detail, but
Okay. Because
they have been found guilty
and sentenced.
Because a lot of people were concerned.
Yeah, because it was his discretion.
They weren't going to get a heavy sentence.
Well, no, a lot of people were predicted that life without possibility of parole was the max that he could give them. But a lot of people were like, well, he's just going to give them years and all that. They'll be out, because it was the judge's discretion. But that's good, though. That's good because, they have to translate that to you in months. So.
Yeah, so
when motherfuckers
So
when motherfuckers be getting sentenced and all that, and they be like,
well, they got what they deserved.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So a lot of times,
and that goes back to now that these like Derek Chauvin, he didn't even want to go through the federal trial.
He just pleaded guilty.
Yeah, so it's just like, after I do this state, then I come do that Fed time.
Yeah. Are they going to run it concurrent, or does he have to?
It'd probably be consecutive. So, and that's what, like you said earlier, a lot of police are being, they're apprehensive about doing their job now.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's like, because if I do my job, I risk the, possibility of going to jail now, which, if you fucking up on your job, you should go to jail.
Yeah, period.
You don't have, just because you're a police officer, you don't have that, to take it to that abuse to where you think you in control and you running everything. No. So, how was your New Year's?
My New Year's was fine. In fact, last night I went to my very first hockey game.
The Kings or the Ducks?
The Kings.
Okay, cool. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot.
Hockey's okay.
And my homegirl that invited me, she's just into sports, period.
Okay.
Like everything. So she was saying, we were talking about how it would be good to see more black people playing hockey. I said, well, there's only a few, right?
No, it's 17 or 18 now.
Serious?
Yes. Oh, we come a long way. Yes.
Because that was, to me, is a totally white man sport.
It is, but now.
But we played, people used to play street hockey growing up.
On roller skates, yeah.
So.
No, we got 17 to 18 professional black hockey players now. And it's still the racism there, but them boys is bad on skates, though.
Man, and then seeing them fight, like, it was exciting. It was, I was happy too. And the reason why I went is because, you know what? I never been to a hockey game. I want to just try it because I'd never done it. And it was fun. That's
one of the things growing up in Chicago, when it was cold outside, and then it was like when the Chicago Bulls didn't play and the Bears weren't televised, that was okay. They put hockey on, the Blackhawks. So we was watching it then. But no, we're going to take over that sport pretty soon too. Yeah. You got a lot of blacks that's interested in it now because they have a junior division in NHL, and there's a lot of blacks in that now. But they're still trying to keep us out, though. But it's heavy up in Canada, though.
Yeah.
Got a lot of blacks playing up in Canada.
My friend was saying there's a lot of French Canadians that play
black
hockey.
Canadians, up in Canada.
But she has an inside, and she was saying, I don't know which organization she was referring to, but they want to change the face of hockey on their team.
Yeah.
They want to get more black people in the back office and on the ice.
On the ice, yeah. Yeah. It's still predominantly white, but I mean, you know.
But we took over everything. Tennis,
once we
golf.
get it though, yeah, that's the whole, and that's what they saying that's the last true sport that they trying to hold on to. Because they saying once we, you know, the 17 that's in there now, they saying that's enough.
Well, according to the folks in the chat room, they said that hockey was invented by freed slaves, and then according to Hidden Colors, it was invented by black folks in Canada.
Yeah. Sliding across that ice, trying to get, across the border. Shit.
But it was amazing just watching the technique with the puck and how.
You got to be skilled.
Yeah.
You got to be skilled. That's all coordination.
It was fascinating.
And it's a hard sport physically because you have the uniform and equipment on, and you using all leg muscles and upper body to push you, and using your arms and everything. So you have to be in physical condition to play that sport.
Right, and I also learned that they didn't always have plexiglass.
No.
And they put it up in 1979 to stop the players from fighting the audience, people in the stands.
No, but sometimes they put it up because a slap shot, it will ricochet off like the interior of it, and it hit a fan in the face.
That's the first thing I was thinking of is having, that's dangerous, not having the plexiglass.
But it was back then, the puck didn't kill you, but it was a badge of honor.
If if it knocked your teeth out.
Yeah, if it knocked your teeth out, you'd be like, I'm at a Chicago Blackhawk game, and and they were short on the news.
Oh, wow.
So they were short on the news. So,
wow,
yeah.
nah.
But the couple of black players that's in there now, that was one of the main reasons why they pursued hockey. Because it's like, oh, we get to fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, I'm good at that
Legitly.
Then. No, you can physically fight until you hit the ice. Once you hit the ice, they break it up because they don't want you smashing.
And if you draw blood,
no,
you got to stay in the penalty box longer.
But as long as you standing upward on your skates and the fisticuffs, it can go on 2-3 minutes. I done seen some 2-3 minutes.
I read somewhere, and I don't know how true this is, they say some of the fights are planned.
Yeah. It's like any other sport. A lot of teams hire that person. He can't score, he can't play defense. So what they do is they're sending that person in to go get that person. Go fuck that person up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
Willy Wonka says hockey player can brawl, but NBA players get suspended for pushing each other.
Yeah.
It's a whole different, I guess.
But then, in basketball, it's like you don't have no protection.
Yeah.
You don't have no protection.
Yeah.
That's why in hockey, you can fight upward.
And
but once you go to the ice, that's when they break it up because they don't want you to they don't want you to slam that person's head on the ice or anything.
Yeah, but I noticed their helmets, too, don't protect them from the puck.
No, they got to wear helmets now.
Yeah, they wear a helmet. Didn't they always wear helmets?
No. And the padding the padding is not like it is now. No. Just like football. You go back to the 50s and the 60s and you look at the uniforms compared to today, oh, my God. No. And back then in football, they played on grass. Now
which they play on AstroTurf.
Yeah, and that's a lot harder though.
Yeah.
So but you got all these modern technologies with the thermal this and the thermal that, and it's like they playing like in Batman suits. So if you get hit, you well protected. Back then, you just had the old shoulder pads that came across under the arms like that. Ain't had nothing for your ribs or nothing. So all that was like open game, wide open.
Wow.
And back then, you could use your head in football to come in first. Now you can't use your head now. So you got to hit like upper body and all of that. So, yep.
Yeah, but it was exciting. So shout out to my homegirl Lynette for the invitation.
Are you going to go again?
Yeah, if I get invited again, I did enjoy it. It was fun to watch.
Did you drink?
I had a beer.
Okay. Was there any fights in the stands?
No fights in the stands, but I was like, dang, it shows a lot of white folks here. But they did have some
black people.
Couple black people, and it was in L.A. most of the sports events are white and Latino.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Except for the Lakers.
yeah.
Lakers is all, black, and Clippers.
Yeah,
is
but
just like
Latinos out here, they are loyal
sports fans
to whatever they like.
Yeah.
Like to the Dodgers, to the Rams.
And none of it, and they just, to me, it's over loyalty.
To Ice Cube.
Yeah,
and
it's
Snoop. I mean,
it's
you go to their concerts,
Yeah.
that's what you gonna see.
But it's like, it's over loyalty because it's like, really, y'all can't even play the sport. And y'all talking most shit. It's about like, wow. Because I went to a Lakers game once, and I remember, I forgot, it was these Hispanics, and they was literally sitting there talking shit to Kobe. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, y'all fat, y'all can't even run up and down the court. Y'all can't even guard. So, yeah, that's how we are. All right, that's it for us today.
Yeah, thanks you guys for hanging on, and hopefully Lewis feels better.
Well, that was just a setup because we really trying to just get him out of here anyway. Poetess gave him something.
I hope he ain't got that flu Rona.
That new shit that's out. Yeah. Thank you all for listening to In a Man's World. No, Lewis, he fell ill. He will be back next week. Once again, we want to thank our call-in guest, Zoom, Guy Torry. He did an amazing job interview. Thank you, Poetess.
I do want to put out there, you guys, if you guys enjoy the show, please support the show. You can Cash App us, PayPal, Venmo. I will admit things have been a little slow around here due to the holiday and the pandemic, so we'd appreciate any support that you can give to the studio and for the show.
There you go. And if you in LA, each and every Thursday night at Lamar Park, Bring It To Me Comedy at the Regency West, 3339 West 43rd Street. You can come see me perform, Louis Dix, Keith Look Around, Morris, and Mad Marv. We'll be there.
Yeah, Marv is supposed to come on after you guys next week to do a tribute
to Demilitant.
To Demilitant. So look for Mad Marv to come in. He says he's sober now.
Yeah, he has.
Okay,
because I put my foot in his ass.
So no drunk Merv.
No drunk Merv. Yeah. So we remember them days. All right. Thank you guys.
All right. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.